Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade. James Blunt is back. You've got a new album. Congratulations. Tell me all about this new album.
It's called the Afterlove. It's taken me 2 years to make, about 100 songs of writing to choose 10. And I've kind of worked with a dream team this time round. I've had an amazing bunch of guys for inspiration to work with, from Ed Sheeran to Ryan Tedder, who's the lead singer of One Republic, to Stefan Mocchio, who writes for The Weeknd, and Mozella, who wrote Wrecking Ball. And for me, it just added a whole different kind of energy and excitement to an album. And yeah, we'll see what you think.
How does a former soldier become a prolific singer and songwriter? Walk me through this journey.
Well, I'd always said I was going to be a musician. I played guitar. I took my guitar with me while I was in the army to boost or lower morale. And I said I was going to do music. Eventually, I think the guys told me, "You've got to stop talking about this now. You've got to go and do it." So I went in, resigned, and I was really lucky. I got picked up by Linda Perry, who was in Four Non Blondes. She signed me to her record deal. Elton John's management firm picked me up, so I had amazing backing and support. And the rest, I suppose, has been about a lot of hard work and a bit of support, and I was a little bit of luck.
When You're Beautiful hits, and I mean it hit, it was one of the biggest songs of the decade. When that thing hits and that level of fame happens, what is that like?
It's a little bit of a roller coaster, and amazing, really. From playing songs beside a tank or in an army barracks or in a bedroom to suddenly be going on world tours is an incredible experience. And I suppose it's something you almost take for granted by the end of it. I'm now announcing my 5th world tour, and I thought when I first started out, I wouldn't be saying world tour. I'd be saying tour of North London. So a pretty amazing experience.
When you look at how you write your music, because you're a songwriter and there's so many singers who aren't really involved in the making of their own music, talk to me about that process. How does it work from beginning to end for you?
Well, it depends who I'm working with. So someone like Ed Sheeran, he and I are mates. We were introduced by Elton John. That's a great name drop. I can just, Elton said, "Hey, have you met Ed?" And I took Ed skiing to Switzerland. I have a place out there, and so I was his ski instructor by day. I taught him how to ski by day, and at night he taught me how to write songs, which was a fair trade. And because he's a mate, it just made it fun, really. We were messing around, and so you can hear that we're having fun in those songs, rather than the songs I've done previously of me on my own writing a song on my guitar, writing a kind of miserable song. This album, as a result, has got a kind of energy and an excitement that I haven't had before. With someone like Ryan Tedder, he's obviously lead singer of One Republic. I became their groupie. I would jump on their tour bus, and meet them wherever a hotel in London. Jump in there just before he's going on stage somewhere and go and write and record a song. Again, it's kind of given an energy to this album that I haven't had before. And also, I think perhaps a confidence that we said, come on, let's mess around and have fun with it and say things. And so you can hear on my new single called Love Me Better. It's it kind of confronts certain things. It starts off by saying people say the meanest things. I've been called a dick. I've been called so many things, and it's kind of it's pretty direct in its approach. And I've really enjoyed messing around with these guys and had that kind of confidence.
I follow you on social media. I think you're freaking hilarious. Talk to me about being able to use social media to communicate with fans, because I think you're really honest, genuine, funny on it. It seems like we're seeing a very authentic James Blunt when you're communicating.
Yeah, I think that wasn't necessarily the idea when my record label started up the account. In fact, when they did, my first name was Dirty Little Blunt on there, and I was just relatively obscene. And then they changed it to my real name, and then they saw what I was doing and had a mild panic. But I'm just messing around on it, really. People do say the meanest things online. We are so unpleasant to each other online, which is so sad, really, because we're not face to face. But also we seem to focus so much on what someone said online, on Twitter. And in the real world, there's so much more positive going on. So I can do a concert to 5,000 or 10,000 or 20,000 people. And yet I'm always asked about, someone said something nasty about you online. And it's really easy to focus on that rather than give the 20,000 people the respect that they deserve. And so really what I'm doing online is I'm laughing, not just at the person who said anything negative, but laughing at myself for even considering taking it seriously.
Are there ever moments that the haters get to you? You seem so easy easy about it, but are there ever moments?
Not really, I think, because if you break it down and work out, the people who did come to a concert, they bought tickets and they got train tickets and they waited and queued outside for the concert. The guy at home who just, sent you something saying, I don't like your music. What was he doing really? He's sitting there in a darkened room with his trousers around his ankles.
Listening to your music.
He's not worth taking seriously.
I love this Carrie Fisher story. I mean, of all random combinations, James Blunt and Carrie Fisher, how does that whole thing happen?
Yeah, amazing experience and a tragic loss. She's a really special woman, and I met her in London before I recorded my first album. She asked me what I was doing, and I said, I'm going to LA, I've got a record deal, and I'm going to record out there. She said, you're going to need a place to stay, and she has been my landlady out there for 3 albums, and whenever I've been out there, that's been my home, and a hugely inspirational place. My first album is called Back to Bedlam because our house is a bit of a mad house, and she's an incredibly creative person, and so her impact has been all over my own life and therefore my songs, really. And it's just it's a great tragedy that she's been taken too soon.
I've had the pleasure of interviewing her. She was one of the funniest, nicest, quickest minds you'll ever meet. What was she like? For those who don't know Princess Leia in real life, what was she like behind the scenes?
I think probably too intelligent for planet Earth, really. She skipped between subjects so fast. It was almost as if she was on acid. Sometimes it was hard to keep up with how fast her brain moved, and so it was easy for people to say, "Oh, she's slightly mad," and she wasn't. She was deeply intelligent, really creative, and incredibly kind as well. And so a fascinating person to be with. I mean, an incredible person, really.
5 albums in, how have you changed? We see how your music's changed, but how have you changed as a person?
Well, I suppose you can probably see in the music. This album has a fresher, more exciting confidence, and I'm probably pretty much at ease with myself now. I used to have a music career for 4 albums. Then I kind of stopped after an 18-month tour. I went away for a couple of years. I went and lived in Australia for a little while, and then I've come back and started what to me feels a new music career, and it's a place where I feel, I'm at ease with myself. I know what I'm doing, and I'm having great fun.
When you have so much success early on, is there ever the fear that the success will go away, and what do I do with myself at that point?
Well, I have had highs, but I've had lows in the music industry. And my first album in the States was huge, and I haven't ever matched that in the States. But in different countries, it's been highs and in some lows. And I think that's probably a healthy thing. It's not what you want, but it's a healthy thing that kind of says, okay, the song that wasn't a hit in one country, if it was in another, it doesn't mean the song was bad. It just didn't necessarily connect, and it's a grounding thing. As I say, it's not necessarily exactly how you'd paint it if you start out, but
it ain't an easy business. I say it all the time. People don't understand. It ain't easy.
Yeah, but that makes it fun. It means putting a new album out. It gives a bit of excitement too.
Congratulations. Everyone make sure to check out James Blunt's new album, The Afterlove, March 24th, in stores everywhere.